Hey there guys, so now that we have last season's backlog out of the way, it's time to get into season 30. The first war we had is against ASR. I got assigned a pretty cool team actually, even though it has Quake. I got to bring my Clairvoyant, my Torch, and Quake. Torch mainly for this Chavez fight, so my officer told me to apply my Nova Flames here because you don't really want to be knocking her down to get your Fury buff here and do normal damage, because when you do that she will likely throw heavies if you bait a heavy, and you don't want to get that damage reflection, extra power gain, stuff like that. So you just go for the Nova Flames, look at all the damage Torch is doing. In just a second here, she's gonna have 11 power stings, or 10 or so power stings, and she's gonna throw a special here, and even with the ebb and flow reduction, it's a 15,000 damage power sting, which is just a lot of damage. And so the fight was pretty much locked up from there. I have 11 smolders. It's going back in, and then from right here I decide it's almost over, I can't really take too much damage, so I go in for a special 2. They go from 200 a tick to 800 a tick by just getting the Fury. And then she threw a special, taking another like 8,000, 10,000 from Power Sting. This Hercules was one of the 2 fights why I brought Clairvoyant. My officer, when he assigned it to me, we like all joined the war right away after getting our assignments. We get in, and then he's like, why did you bring your 5-star? Because I don't have a 6-star Claire. So he made sure I was going to max boost and stuff, because it's ASR. You don't have too much wiggle room against an alliance like this. And I brought a 5-star in when we didn't communicate clearly enough there together, I guess. So I put on an invul. I thought I had the distancing. I was trying to heavy counter on that, so that way I can re-parry off of that, get up to my SP2 with the Fury, and I just, what was that? It was like 20% damage-ish off of a single special attack. I didn't want to go for the parry there because I saw my Fury was about to fall off, so I didn't want my parry stun getting shrugged off, and he goes for a heavy and I don't see it coming. I still have 2 hits left on my invul, so even if I make a mistake, I'm pretty safe. Trying to figure out the spacing to counter with Claire's heavy there. I go for the heavy there just off the parry, go for the special intercept. Again, another just about 20% health off just a single SP2. He throws his heavy straight away there, so I can't really go in there. He does it a couple times back to back, but I still have plenty of room on the map. So I get the re-parry off, push him back a bit, just getting in some damage. I switched my stance there. I don't remember exactly what was going through my head, if I wanted to power control him. Yeah, I think I wanted... Oh, that was just... I hesitated on throwing the heavy, wasn't sure what to do. So I was trying to, I think, decide if I wanted to switch stances again, for some weird reason. But I decided to go for this because the fight was almost over. I have the Fury, so I figured I would be doing enough damage where the power control would make some sense. I probably should have just stuck to the Incinerate because it was doing 20% per special. I would have like just about killed. So I go back because, as I said, we'll just about kill from this range. But actually, I think I did. Yeah, I wasn't able to knock him down, so it does very little damage, and I'm in the bleed phase. So I don't get too much damage, but he's almost dead. I throw some bleeds on him. They're ticking for a little bit. Hercules has that bleed resistance. I do that to trigger my deep wounds, actually, because I have more health than him. But I kind of forgot about his immortality for a second, so I just have to go, and I have 9 Claire charges, so it's pretty easy to nullify at that point. And that was the section 1 for that war. I really liked the Hercules fight. The Chavez fight was just so fun with Torch because, well, Torch. Section 2 is, well, where Quake comes out to play. It's 3 back-to-back Quake fights, so if you want to skip through this part, I completely understand that. Mr. Negative, not the hardest, but on a node like this, you'd have to be knocking him down if you used a normal champion, which then you'd have reverse controls and all of his other stuff, plus the disorient, plus the block penetration node. So it's pretty safe just to go in here and Quake. This is the disorient where if you parry, I believe you get the disorient. So I just had to make sure not to parry. That's all I really want to say about this fight for now. So our Alliance Wars season is actually off to a really, really good start. Right now we are 5-0, and we are in first place by a couple deaths, and we are currently facing what is like second or third place alliance, I think. So It's a big war for us today. This season has been really good for the Alliance, but I'll be honest, I was kind of mad at my performance so far this season. I've been playing like fairly well, but I just made a couple like silly mistakes, and you'll see one of them this war. I don't know, I just felt like I could have been doing better. I have put on an invulnerability boost here because, well, just in case the disorient starts to like mess with me, I wanted to make sure I had that. Plus Annihilus as well, one of the most notoriously aggressive defenders in this game, and I use it straight away. I was trying to I wasn't sure if I had to play around disorient because it can reduce your ability accuracy, but it seems to not really affect it with Quake because you have your own ability accuracy reduction. So I'm glad I put on that invul boost. That's kind of what I mean. I just like feel like I haven't been playing my best, but I feel like I've been playing pretty well. Like that Hercules fight with Claire, I was getting some good spacings, stuff like that. So it's been a bit up and down for me personally, but the Alliance so far this season has been absolutely crushing it. We've been like 2 deaths and stuff in a lot of the wars, 1 death. So that's really been good for us. I really hope we can get and finish in that first place spot. It'd be so cool to actually finish in first. I think right now GT40 is probably one of the better Alliance War alliances. We got a really good group of players. So if you guys know who Agent X is, he also took this fight in the exact same war because ASR placed like virtually the same defense across all 3 maps. So he took this in his BG3, and he was a bit stressed about it because I was also stressed about it because with I'm not sure how you say the node, but it's like Chitinous Thorn, Chitinous Thorn, something like that, where if they have an armor, you take a massive bleed plus Deep Wounds Mastery burst damage if they have an armor up buff and you hit them, or even I think just touch, I'm not sure. I just try to usually use a bleed immune or Quake on something like this. So if you notice, when I have the ability accuracy reduction, it's fine, but right there, I wanted to make sure I triggered my dex while I had the concussion to not give him the 15% regen from the buffet node. Fortunately, the armor up, I'm able to reduce its chance to trigger on most of the times. Like it just failed right, oh actually it didn't fail right there, but it's failed a good few times. And with Quake, if like I keep on messing up, that's just kind of what I mean for the season. Like I've been dropping heavy and stuff with Quake. It's whatever though. Well, it's not whatever, it's bad. I need to get out of that, I need to fix it. But so yeah, I just parried a couple times there just to close out the fight, and I actually got a mini boss with my Clairvoyant. So I'm going to show the nodes here. So the main one to notice is High Ground node and Hurt Locker are played into effect. Someone told me after this that I should have been rotating a different special attack than I was using. So I went for the Power Start 1, and if you saw, I was fairly heavily boosted because I really wanted this to be a safe fight. And so he comes in here, he has his High Ground. I launch the SP2, which has a ton of hits, so I'm able to remove that first High Ground very easily. I get a nice crit on my SP1. I'm waiting for High Ground to come off, and I'm baiting out a special 1 just in case if you want to throw it there. And so I get that off. And so now it has Power Focus 1, so while he's above the 2 bars of power, he doesn't gain much power. But I think he was gaining a decent bit of power from his dash-in power gain ability. But if you notice, Claire is doing a great job keeping the power under control because of that. I don't really try to dex that too much because it's a little bit risky. But so the reason why Hurt Locker is important here is someone told me afterwards that I should have just been in Hellfire state the whole time, and I should have cycled SP2 and SP3. What I was worried about with that was Hurt Locker makes it so you have to throw alternating special attacks, and Incinerate is one of the few debuffs with High Ground that speeds it up ×2. Right, it makes it go from the 10 second to the 5 second, I think it is. I don't remember exactly right now. So I wanted to try to avoid that. So I was like, okay, I'll go for like poison and I'll try to power control him. But thinking back on the fight, power control is kind of silly because he has Power Focus 1. So then I swapped to heal to get back some health. And then here's where the critical error comes in. So I just threw my SP2, so I need to throw an SP1 before another SP2 here. And so he comes in, I'm going to do a special intercept, I believe. He gets his Fury here, and I throw it, so now he has 60 energy when he comes in. He's almost up to 70, He's gonna dash again, he gets 78. He has 2 Furies. I re-parry, and I go in, and he auto-blocks me, crits into a 4-hit combo, killing me. So you need to have him below, I believe it's 75 charges for his auto-block not to parry, and I said this because with an R3 or even maybe just bigger boosts, clearly he had 10% health left, R3 kills there, so it's really unfortunate for me, but I should have just played it better, because yeah, looking back on that fight specifically, you can tell that if I hadn't thrown that SP1 and I had gone for an SP2 in Hellfire state, I think it actually would have killed, because look at like the damage that I just do here. I kill him with just basic combos. I took some time off there and came back in afterwards to clean it up. I should have just played better if I'm being honest, but it was a death, it happens. We still won the war, so that's what matters. As I said, we're 5-0 right now. And so for the Claire fight, basically, I just shouldn't have gone for that SP1. I should have been going for SP2, SP3. But that will be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys want to watch the next one. I'm going to have a lot more stuff coming out soon. See you guys soon.